So this is one of my family's new favourite dishes. It's the ultimate sausage casserole. We've got the most amazing potato dumplings that are crispy on the top, really gorgeous and gooey on the bottom. We've got loads of veg in there, a beautiful gravy, crispy sausages. So let's do it. I've boiled 800 grams of nice Maris Piper potatoes. I've got 6 big, lovely Cumberland sausages here. In that same pan that we boiled the potatoes, just whacking a little bit of olive oil. Get that on a medium heat, take your sausages, and then gently fry these for about 10 minutes, give or take, until they're nice and golden. The next thing we're gonna do is gravy. I'm gonna be using carrots here. Split that down the middle, and then into quarters. Just cut it into like 1 or 2 centimetre chunks. Now on the leek here, I'm going to just split them down the middle, like that. Just roughly chop them. So look, we've got some nice colour on these sausages now. Put them on a little bowl or plate. The sausages will flavour the fats in the pan, and that's going to make the veggies really, really delicious. Fry this off for about 10-15 minutes. It will shrink down, it will be gorgeous. In the meantime, let me show you how to make these dumplings. Mash the potato, season it with salt and pepper, you know, fairly standard. But then, if we get some nice whole grain mustard, I'll take about a heaped teaspoon, and the mustard seeds, I think, really make this. It's like a little surprise. So look, once you've mixed all that together, roughly, chop it in half with your hand, in half again, and just kind of put it in your hand like a cricket ball. It's as easy as that. 4 lovely potato dumplings, ready and raring to go. So we're now caramelising. You can see it on the leeks and the carrots. So we'll go in with 1 heaped teaspoon of whole grain mustard. Then we're going to go in, wait for it, with a good old friend of mine, brown sauce. About 3 tablespoons. It smells incredible already. Then tins of mixed beans. Get that in there, juice and all. And then last but not least, we're going to go tinned tomatoes, right? So 1 whole tin goes in. Just kind of squeeze the plum tomatoes in there to break them up. And then what you want to do is fill this up with water. That'll give you that little bit of extra moisture. We're going to bring that to the boil and simmer that for like 10-15 minutes until it looks scrumptious, right? Now, with our beautiful everyday Cumberland sausage, score little half-centimetre slices. So by scoring it like this, it looks cool. It creates more surface area, which is more crispy bits, more flavour, yes! And then on the underside, this also sucks up more flavour from this gorgeous sauce. Score both sides, take the sausage and just sink it in this sauce. Then we go in with the lovely potato dumplings, straight in there. Look at that, absolutely beautiful. Just brush it with some oil to get it really, really golden. Now, instead of using the brush, just use some herbs. A bit of thyme, a bit of rosemary, pour in some oil and brush it. And that will not only make it go golden and gorgeous, it will absolutely flavour it. Take some of those thyme leaves and just put them in and around the pan. Now, I'll put it under the grill for about 10-15 minutes on high, until golden and delicious. You hungry?
Yeah.
Look at this.
Whoa, how do you make the mountain thing?
They are potato dumplings. So let's just plate some up. You got your sausage in there. You got your veg in there. Absolutely beautiful. So a little bit of greens in there. Here we go. So let's have a little try of this.
Okay, I'm gonna go for it.
Go on, mate.
It's really nice.
So what do you reckon, Bud? Are you happy with that, mate?
Yeah.
Recipe that I want to share with you now is a beautiful version of a fish pie. It's thrifty and it's delicious, and I call it sweet pea fish pie. It's so good. It's heroing most of the ingredients from over there, the freezer. Things like vegetables are amazing in the freezer. I'm using spinach and peas, and then fish. You can have it sitting there in the freezer waiting for you to cook something delicious with it. And there's many methods of cooking, especially when it's in a nice sauce or it's kind of baked, where frozen fish really can be fantastic. And as long as you get something nice and sustainable, you're laughing. So I have 300 grams of salmon and 300 grams of white fish. And if you look in the freezer aisles, you'll see some really good frozen fish. So in a pan we go, and I'll cover that with 500 millilitres of milk, and I'll just simmer it to poach it until it flakes, so about 10 minutes. So this recipe's great at kind of swapping in different fish and making do and stretching fish a long way. Now, what I want to do is show you how I make the most delicious mashed potato topping. I've got a kilo of potatoes that are peeled, just cut into chunks, boiling away for about 15 minutes. And then we're going to use the second freezer ingredient, and that's 400 grams of frozen peas. Okay, so just put them in there for a minute. Happy days. These can go back in the freezer. That's the great thing about the freezer, isn't it? Just use what you need straight back in there. I'll drain it straight away. So over we go to the sink. So in this pan here, we're going to make the most amazing cheesy sauce, full of the good stuff. I've got 2 onions, finely chopped, and 2 carrots, finely chopped, just in a little bit of olive oil. And I've let those slowly fry for like 10 minutes just to soften. So what I want to do now is to thicken the sauce. 60 grams of flour goes into that pan, and then mustard, another store cupboard ingredient. I like a good teaspoon. It's not hot, you just get a nice flavour from it. Stir it in. And then the liquid that we need is going to come from there, the poaching liquor. So I'll just take a little spoon, nick a little bit of that milk, just steal a little bit of that liquid like that, and mix it around. So the fish has already flavoured the milk, which is all going to add to the flavour of the whole dish. As it absorbs the milk, then we get the spoon and take a bit more. And it makes the most delicious sauce. You can see it thickening up, and it smells amazing already. The colour from the mustard is very, very good. In that last little bit of milk, like that, you can see here, if I show you the fish, can you see how lovely this salmon will just poach? Look, it's just falling apart. Really nice, gorgeous. I absolutely love good quality frozen fish. It's handy. Can you see how lovely this sauce looks? It's really, really good. So, the third frozen ingredient is frozen spinach. 100 grams go in, and again, frozen spinach is so brilliant to have in the freezer. It's particularly good for soups, in the stews for the last kind of half an hour, really nice. Amazing in curries, amazing in curries. And if you think about it, the amount of spinach in this bag would be like a pillowcase worth, right? Because it's all been blanched and it's been squashed into these little kind of pellets. And if you just put it straight in a hot sauce like this, it starts to melt, and then you get spinach flavoured sauce, which is going to be absolutely gorgeous. So look, the nice thing about this recipe is you can use whatever fish you can get your hands on, fresh or frozen, but I just think frozen fish is brilliant if you use it in the right way. And in a dish like this, it's the perfect way. Now, a little optional extra to give it real delicious flavour, cheese. So a nice little grating of cheddar cheese I think is really, really good, but literally use what you've got to hand. You can use it almost like a seasoning. So sort of 40, 50 grams. Look at that. So next up, lemon juice. Just half a lemon going in there, I think is delicious. So if you haven't got lemon, that's fine. But just a little squeeze of lemon like that just lifts the whole story. I love it. So the sauce is now done. I'll have a little taste. Delicious, so good. A little salt and a nice little hit of pepper, but good to check your seasoning. You can see here with the fish, we can just break it up into chunks like that, and we can just get that in. And of course, if you had different fish, that's fine. You can duck and dive, and I think these times, that's what it's about, right? Being flexible, being agile in your recipes, and you know, you want to kind of be able to do good cooking no matter what. So look, that looks incredible. Let's do the topping, because I think this is one of the best bits. And actually, as far as my kids are concerned, right, it's all about the potatoes and the peas. So let's get a masher. Let's get a nice knob of butter. A pinch of salt and pepper, and then have a good old mash up. Just keep rattling away, and then we'll put it on top. I mean, for me, for all the parents up and down the country, always trying to get more veggies into their kids, you know, this is a good way. But it's also blooming good for the adults too. So what I tend to do is just take a little bit of our topping and lay it on the top like this. I don't throw it all on top because you don't want to displace all the lovely sauce. So sort of evenly distribute the potato here. So look, here we go. colour is just brilliant. And once you've done that, just use the spoon just to sort of move it around and sort of go up the edges. Look at that. So you can make it rough and ready, you can fork it up, you can do nice little turns. Because as this cooks, it's gonna go golden and blippy and bubbling, and that lovely sauce is gonna find its way out. It's gonna be extraordinary, and I can prove it to you because I did one earlier. Right, check this out. Come on. Look at that. Crispy on the top, all the juices kind of baking their way out. Let's get that down. Let's have a little portion up. Come on, get in there. Oh, look at that. Beautiful chunks of fish. Absolutely delicious. Really simple, good, honest grub. You know, stuff that makes you really happy. Come on, let's have a little try. So good. You would never know that was frozen fish. It's so good. It's a clever, delicious, thrifty dish. In the freezer, the peas, spinach, and the fish. You know, give it an hour or so and you can have this. Joy. This is a great dish. We're going to do a beautiful mushroom cannelloni with a gorgeous, oozy, cheesy sauce. If you've got someone in your house that completely disagrees with any kind of meat-free day, this recipe is probably quite a good one to get them on, because if this is made right, they probably wouldn't even notice the difference, right? Because this has the depths of flavour that you'd get from a lovely cannelloni. The residual moisture in these greens will just steam and wilt. This will take like 30-40 seconds. That can then go in the bottom of our tray. Just a little kiss of salt. Right, that's the beginning of the story. Let's get on to business. So in this pan, I want to cook down leeks, which I love, and onions. Olive oil. We'll go straight in with the onions. And then as I prep each vegetable, just add it to the story. So a little bit of pepper. I've got some garlic. Just finely slice it up. Right, let's get on to leeks. Just slice up the white part straight in there. With the greener stuff, I tend to chop this up finer anyway, just to help it cook. And then we're going to add the mushrooms. Right, big boy, we're making cannelloni. Give it a little seasoning with salt and pepper. If you want to make this extraordinary, just 15 minutes of stirring and frying will be amazing.
Yes.
Go and find your mad brother.
Okay.
Stuffing's done. So chop that up, and then it just feels so homemade, and you get more texture. If you lay it out flat, let that cool down. Let me make a really simple white sauce. In the same pan that we made the mushrooms, go in with 3 tablespoons of olive oil, 3 tablespoons also of plain flour. You don't have to make it with butter. Classically, yes, but in real life, no. Olive oil's fine. Looks a bit like breadcrumbs, but this is a thickening agent. In there, we're gonna add some milk. I'm just gonna add it slowly, slowly. That's quite a rushed version. That's what I always do at home. You know, I've got a family here to feed. There's stuff going on. So look, as the white sauce does its magic, let's fill these cannellonis. So literally all I do is stab around like that and then turn it around, do the other half. It's as simple as that. And that is your beautiful mushroom stuffed cannelloni. Okay, so look, there we go. A tray full of beautiful cannelloni. Off the heat now, because I'm very happy with that consistency, and put a nice big handful of grated cheese in there. I'm using cheddar, a nice big handful goes in. So let's get that over the top here. Look how oozy it is, yeah. And you can see the chunks of leftover mushroom in there. Last but not least, just a few little slices, kind of in and around, and then just a little drizzle of oil. So this will go in the oven at 180 degrees Celsius for about 40 to 45 minutes until golden, blipping and delicious. I can hear it sizzling. So it's at about 40 minutes. The wood oven's just a little bit hotter. Look at that, come on. This kind of cooking is all about family. Look at the crispy bits. Yes. And then, of course, we added that lovely stack of greens. It's got to be one of the best meat-free meals ever, whether you're vegetarian or not. Right, let's get amongst it. So good. Oh, yeah. Kids! I've come up with a recipe that you could do any day of the week. This is my kind of version of a butter chicken. All of this happens in a pan, so it's a super convenient recipe. Let's get that on a high heat, and then I'm gonna add 700 grams of fresh tomatoes whole. Essentially what I wanna do is scald, char, and blacken the skins of these tomatoes. Already, look at that. Can you see how we're blackening those tomatoes? That's gonna give a char, a smokiness. So just take these tomatoes off the vine. Now, at the same time, as we blacken these, we're gonna do the chilies. Split the chilies in half, and with the tip of the knife, take out the seeds. That's the hottest bit. So in these go. Now, as these tomatoes get black all over, what you'll notice is naturally the skins are starting to peel off. Let's get the last of the chilies on there. Now, let them cool down. If you want, you can cover them just to let them steam a little bit. Right, the marinade. Really, really simple. In a bowl or a nice platter, I'm gonna add 2 tablespoons of the garam masala. Then I'm gonna take 8 cloves of garlic and just use a grater. Look at that. Then I want a nice big couple of thumb-sized pieces of ginger. Just take a little spoon to scrape the skin off the ginger. Then I'll use the same fine grater to grate the ginger. Okay, so into this, we will season it with salt and pepper. 2 tablespoons of lovely yogurt. Now, when it comes to the chicken breast, it's almost twice the thickness here at this fat end than this part here at the thin end. So what I'll do is ignore this thin end and about here, start to score it. About 1/2 centimetre to 1 centimetre now thick. This will allow that lovely marinade to penetrate quicker. There's no polite way to marinade. Get that into all the little slits and the cuts. I'm gonna let that marinade for about 10 minutes and have a clean down. Right, let's get cooking the chicken. I'm gonna get this nice and hot. I'll add a little bit of oil to a pan, and then let's put the chicken straight into that hot oil. And I wanna get it dark and golden. So while that's frying away, let's peel these tomatoes. Just take the skins off and the little stalk. The chilies I'll keep to one side. Hey! Buds, do you want to turn the chicken for me, darling? So when it comes to cooking the chicken, we're only going to do it for like 8 to 10 minutes. Well done, mate. So look, we've peeled through all of these little tomatoes, and then you can gather all of these little skins at the end, put them in your hand, and in there, that is pure flavour. You go and wash your hands, big boy. Oh, chicken's looking amazing. Gnarly on both sides and just cooked through perfectly. Right, let's get that on a board. Now, let's make the sauce. It's really, really simple. So use all those pan juices there. Let's get the tomatoes and all the juices into the pan. And now in with 2 tablespoons of that cashew butter. That'll cook down pretty quickly and go ruby red. So I've got 500 mils, give or take, of boiling water. So just enough to really help this simmer down and turn into a lovely thick sauce. Just get a fork and just squash all those tomatoes and let that boil vigorously for a couple of minutes. I am gonna put some chili in. The question is, how much? I think what I'm gonna do is just go in with 1.5. If you wanna take the edge off the spice, put like 2 teaspoons of mango chutney. Now what we can do is get that chicken in there, and we want the chicken to be really juicy, right? And I want quite big chunks. I don't want like little wafy bits. And then I'm gonna put this in the sauce and let that chicken simmer. What I'm gonna do now is just spoon 3 tablespoons of yogurt through the sauce. Just a little bit of coriander on the top, and that, my friends, is gonna be a beautiful curry. So look, I've got some rice here. I've put some chickpeas in, and then just get it in there. Look at that, big chunks of meat. Let's get amongst it. So, so good. That's good to go. Let's feed the family.